A timeline of the allegations against Ellen DeGeneres and her producers. In the span of a few months, the sunny reputation of Ellen DeGeneres and her eponymous daytime talk program, The Ellen DeGeneres Show, has taken a nosedive. Despite her Be Kind mantra, DeGeneres and several senior staffers have been accused by current and former employees of fostering a toxic work environment. In response, DeGeneres has apologized to her staff, and 3 top producers have parted ways with the show. Meanwhile, several fellow celebrities have weighed in on the controversy, either defending or criticizing DeGeneres. For a detailed breakdown, here is a timeline of the allegations against DeGeneres and her producers, their responses, the fallout, and more. The beginning cracks in DeGeneres' public persona began to appear in spring 2020, during the early days of the coronavirus epidemic. March 20. Twitter users allege bad experiences with DeGeneres comedian Kevin T. Porter got the ball rolling with a viral Twitter thread, encouraging people to share their experiences with DeGeneres or stories about her, whom he called notoriously one of the meanest people alive, seemingly alluding to long-festering but previously unsubstantiated rumors. The initial tweet has since racked up more than 70,000 likes. Numerous people responded, with one Twitter user saying that, while working for DeGeneres, she was told to never look her in the eyes. Another person claimed that every day DeGeneres picks someone different to really hate. One person even alleged that DeGeneres tried to get her fired for wearing chipped nail polish while serving her food. April 16. Ellen crew outraged by treatment during pandemic. The next month, Ellen crew members alleged that producers left them high and dry during the pandemic, and that they were told nothing about the status of their working hours, pay, or inquiries about their mental and physical health from producers for over a month, according to a Variety report. The article also said crew members were later told they'd get major pay reductions, and their frustrations only increased when they heard the show hired a non-union company to help DeGeneres tape the show from her home. A spokesperson for Warner Bros. Television, which distributes the show, told Variety, "Our executive producers and Telepictures are committed to taking care of our staff and crew, and have made decisions first and foremost with them in mind." April-June. Backlash to DeGeneres' comments about quarantine and Black Lives Matter. At least twice this year, DeGeneres sparked backlash for statements that many said came off as out of touch or ignorant. In April, people called out the comedian for comparing coronavirus lockdowns to being in jail, given that DeGeneres presumably had the luxury of being able to shelter in place in her mansion. Then in June, DeGeneres vowed to do better after critics felt her statement about Black Lives Matter was vague and ineffective. "For things to change, things must change," she said in a since-deleted tweet. Ex-staffers speak out with rumors and complaints about DeGeneres already swirling online. BuzzFeed News published 2 reports in July that indicated the host and her show's top producers had a lot of work to do. July 16. Staffers blast Ellen show for toxic work environment. BuzzFeed spoke to anonymous current and former Ellen staffers who alleged that senior producers fostered a toxic workplace full of racism, intimidation, and fear, going back years. While DeGeneres wasn't specifically called out for her behavior, one former employee held the host responsible if she wants to have her name on the show. From a black employee describing racist microaggressions that resulted in her walking off the job to others, claiming they were fired after taking medical leave or bereavement days to attend family funerals, they paint a picture of a behind-the-scenes culture that clashes with the Be Kind mantra touted by DeGeneres. July 27. Ellen Show reportedly under investigation following the BuzzFeed report. The Ellen DeGeneres Show was reportedly placed under internal investigation by Warner Media, which would entail interviews with current and past staffers. Executive producers Ed Glavin, Mary Connolly, and Andy Lasner also released a joint statement to BuzzFeed taking full responsibility for the show's daily operations. "For the record, the day-to-day responsibility of the Ellen Show is completely on us," the statement said in part. "We take all of this very seriously, and we realize, as many in the world are learning, that we need to do better, are committed to do better, and we will do better." July 30. DeGeneres addresses allegations in staff letter 2 weeks after BuzzFeed's initial report. DeGeneres addressed the allegations that she fostered a toxic workplace. In a letter to her staff, obtained by you, DeGeneres avoided discussing specific complaints, but promised that things will now change. While she apologized for employees' negative experiences, DeGeneres also shifted some blame to those working for her. "As we've grown exponentially, I've not been able to stay on top of everything and relied on others to do their jobs as they knew I'd want them done," DeGeneres wrote. "Clearly some didn't. That will now change, and I'm committed to ensuring this does not happen again." In a statement to you, Warner Bros. gave an update into the investigation, saying Warner Media found deficiencies in how the show was run. Without naming names, the company also revealed that there would be several staffing changes made. July 30. Ex-staffers accused top Ellen producers of sexual misconduct hours after DeGeneres' letter was reported. BuzzFeed published accounts from 36 unnamed former employees, alleging incidents of harassment, sexual misconduct, and assault from top producers, with ex-staffers specifically calling out head writer and executive producer Kevin Lehman, executive producer Ed Glavin, and co-executive producer Jonathan Norman for inappropriate behavior. Lehman and Norman both denied the allegation, while Glavin did not respond to the outlet's request for comment. August 17. DeGeneres issues second apology and announces staffing changes. DeGeneres apologized again to her staff in an emotional Zoom meeting on August 17, during which employees learned that Glavin, Lehman, and Norman were departing the show. Mary Connolly, Andy Lasner, and Derek Westervelt would stay on as EPs, according to Variety. During the call, you learned, DeGeneres spoke about being introverted and having good days and bad days, which caused her to keep to herself at times. Staffers were also informed that they would be receiving new perks, including paid time off and a generous medical leave policy, a source told you. A human resources executive provided by Warner Media had already started work and attended several Zoom meetings, a source also told you. The executive does not report to the show's leadership, providing anonymity to workers and a dedicated advocate. Where celebrities stand. Many stars have publicly shown their support for DeGeneres, like her wife, Portia de Rossi, and fellow comedian Kevin Hart. Other public figures added their voices to criticism of the host. DeGeneres supporters. Hart has been one of DeGeneres' most vocal defenders, which shouldn't come as a surprise as she publicly forgave Hart when he got in trouble for past homophobic remarks. The two were photographed having lunch August 16, and 2 days later, Hart vouched for DeGeneres in an interview. "It's crazy to see my friend go through what she's going through publicly," Hart wrote on Instagram on August 4. "I have known Ellen for years, and I can honestly say that she's one of the dopest people on the effing planet. She has treated my family and my team with love and respect from day one." Here is a list of other celebrities who have defended DeGeneres. Scooter Braun, Katy Perry, Ashton Kutcher, Jerry O'Connell, Diane Keaton, Alec Baldwin, Ellen DJ Steven Twitch Boss, who was later promoted to executive producer. DeGeneres detractors. Former Everybody Loves Raymond star Brad Garrett was one of the first celebrities to criticize DeGeneres following the allegations. In July, the actor said he didn't buy her letter to staff, tweeting, "Sorry, but it comes from the top F at Thielen show, no more than one who were treated horribly by her. I common knowledge."